Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we strive to be cast as extras on the Fashion Files. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our WWE Backlash preview show. Welcome to our NXT Takeover Chicago pre-show. We took a little vacation, a little week off. Well, the WWE took a week off too, so we decided to do the same. But we are back for you. And we'll get you ready for the weekend with a couple of big shows coming down on the old WWE Network. First, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. You'll know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and most Mondays after WWE pay-per-views. We're also subscribable on the YouTube, and the links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. We're also on that Twitter machine at LITMC Podcast. We share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world on there, so make sure to follow us at that spot. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers, and as always, my co-host, he's on the Twitter at RawFShowtime, Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
pretty much describes how my week has been. So
that says it all.
We got a wrestling-filled weekend coming up, and hopefully Backlash doesn't suck as much as I think it's going to.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not thinking it's going to be like pay-per-view of all time or anything, but I think it'll be solid. I think it's going to be like a Smackdown on steroids with a couple of pay-per-view matches mixed in. That's what it looks like so far.
I think they need to open the show with Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal and just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Because honest to God, I don't want to see that close a fucking pay-per-view. I just don't.
I think it will. But I mean,
I think it will too, but I don't want to see it.
I'm like 60-40 on it right now, with that closing the show or the United States title. I think I'm like 60-40 right now with the championship.
I'm hoping at this point the push of Jinder Mahal ends after Backlash. I hope this is it. Just let him meet an RKO. Move him down the damn card, and let's move on to something else. I don't want to see this shit continue.
I've been fine with Jinder since winning the number one contenders 6-pack challenge. I've been fine with
the whole thing is just totally unrealistic.
I'm fine with it. I've been fine with his performance since then, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I look, if he was in a mid-card feud and he was feuding for like the United States Championship or had a partner and was going for the tag team titles, it's fine. That's fine. But the dude didn't win a TV match in 8 months, and is fighting this Sunday in the main event for the WWE Championship. 3 weeks of booking doesn't fix 8 months of being buried. I refuse to give WWE a pass on this. I just absolutely refuse.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, there was need to freshen up the main card for sure.
But they've got plenty of people on SmackDown now that can freshen up that main event scene.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real right now. Kevin, like that United States title, is on guys that should be main eventing right now.
Yeah.
It's just, come on. Like, what? Just if you want the United States title on somebody to build somebody up in the process, that right now the feud should be Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin for that title. Like, that title should be with those two right now. Not Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Those guys should be, like, fighting for the number one contendership of the WWE title.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the loser of that match Sunday is probably going to be headlining SummerSlam.
Well, look, you don't know how Money in the Bank's going to go either.
No.
So, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see who they put in Money in the Bank on SmackDown this summer.
I wish that was a co-branded pay-per-view.
I am hearing that it is
it's
not.
It's not. No, it's not.
So,
I think it's all but official that it's a SmackDown only pay-per-view. I just said I think it should be like the TPC Sawgrass, the PGA Tour was just at last week. I think it should be WWE's fifth major. But that's okay. I mean, at least it's on the problem
with that at all.
At least it's on the better show.
It doesn't even have to be like full of Raw and SmackDown matches. It could have just been one matches for Raw's Money in the Bank. They could have done that.
Yeah.
And then I think that would have been cool. But I mean, I guess they just don't want to have that. Well, how could you cash in on a guy who's never there? So, I guess they figured they have to just give it to SmackDown.
We're now live at Brock Lesnar's
house
in Saskatchewan. Raw Money in the Bank winner Samoa Joe is currently trekking up the 3-mile driveway of Brock Lesnar. We'll be back at the end of the third hour to see if he's made it to the end of the driveway.
Does Samoa Joe just put Sable in a coquina clutch?
Back to you, Gene. Oh, man.
Thanks, Sean Mooney.
News of the week, big news of the week. I'll talk to Matt about this in a minute, but WWE has reported that Braun Strowman has a shattered elbow and will be out for 6 months. He had surgery in Birmingham, Alabama this past Thursday. 6 months would clearly put him into November's time frame, Matt, but I'm hearing that this time frame is a work.
I've heard. I was actually just going to say I've heard the same thing. I don't know the severity. Well, I heard when he was going into this surgery that he'd be out at most 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people I talked to said 4 to 6 weeks tops. He's going to be back. I heard some as far as to say 6 to 8. So when they had this surgery and all of a sudden it's 6 months, I'm like, this doesn't sound right. And from the people I've spoken with, nobody will give me a direct answer, but based on the general knowledge of what I've heard, I think it's a worked length time, kind of like they used to do with John Cena, and they would say he would be out like double the time he was scheduled to be out. So when he came back, he looked like Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing the same thing with Braun, and I wouldn't be surprised if they let Roman win the Fatal 5-Way at Extreme Rules, and then Braun returns at Great Balls of Fire and costs Roman the title. Or even, maybe Braun returns at Extreme Rules and costs Roman that match. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would be pushing it. That would be about 4 weeks.
A lot of people think...
I mean, that would really be pushing the time frame, but who knows?
A lot of people think Braun will take on Lesnar at SummerSlam. A lot of people think he'll be back by then.
Well, he was originally scheduled. From what I heard, the original plan was it was going to be Roman and Braun in an ambulance match.
And the winner got Lesnar.
Yeah, and the winner was Strowman was going to win.
Yeah,
and it was going to be Strowman and Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. And well, of course, then the injury happened, and that pretty much went right out the window. I like the Fatal 5-Way.
So do I. I think it was a blessing in disguise because it freshens up that card. My gut feeling, off the top of my head, we'll go ahead and just talk about this now since we brought it up. Fatal 5-Way announced on Monday Night Raw. Winner faces Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. Yes, we have to say that with a straight face. You won't
believe who I'm hearing is rumored to win that thing.
The competitors are Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, and who am I blanking on?
Did you say Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I'm blanking on someone right now.
Finn Balor?
Finn Balor, there we go.
Finn
My gut, because he's not my gut to win, my gut feeling to win is going to be Seth Rollins. Just because he...
That's what I'm hearing.
What?
It's not what I'm hearing.
My gut would say Seth Rollins, he could lose to Lesnar, and that wouldn't hurt him too terribly bad. Who do
you want to be surprised? You want to be surprised with who I'm about to say?
You're gonna say Wyatt, huh?
Yeah. I'm hearing early talks are Wyatt and Lesnar Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, unless you're having Wyatt win, because rumor is...
Because I feel like Wyatt needs all the help he can get right now.
I know Meltz...
And I think going into a match with Brock Lesnar where he gets creamed in 3 minutes is not the way they should be looking to work Bray Wyatt going into SummerSlam.
Meltzer came out earlier in the week and that stated that the plan is still for Lesnar and Roman at WrestleMania in New Orleans. Basically, this is the crowning of Roman Reigns, which I don't get because nobody's going to buy him as the new John Cena, or nobody's going to buy him as the John Cena. I mean, he's just
it's a bad idea.
He's a different person. But Meltzer added to the rumor earlier this week saying, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that Lesnar's keeping the title all the way through to Mania. He does believe that Lesnar's going to drop and then regain the title sometime between now and April.
See, honest to God, I'd much rather have Roman go into Mania with the title than Brock. Because at least if Roman's got the title, he's on TV every week.
Yeah.
The
only exception is
they let Brock win the Rumble. Just do Brock and Roman that way.
The only exception to that is Matt, is if Lesnar wins the title at the Rumble, because then we know that we're going to get more Lesnar between Rumble and Mania than we're getting between Mania and Great Balls of Fire.
And as far as I can recall, his contract's up at New Orleans. His contract ends at Mania.
Yeah, and
so
whether he retires or not,
they're gonna have to use every damn date they have left for him if that's the case.
Yeah. Apparently, I believe whatever Raw is in Lafayette, Louisiana, I think on June 12th, I think is when Lesnar's returning to television. That would put it 8 days after Extreme Rules, so that kind of makes sense. I can't remember what Great Balls of... I don't know. Is Great Balls of Fire like the second week of July? I can't remember.
If so, I don't have the date offhand.
If so, then that puts
somewhere around there.
Yeah, if that Lafayette show is on the 12th, that's when
I know he's scheduled for both the Go Home show and the Raw the night after Great Balls of Fire. I know that for 100% fact. I just don't remember what those dates are right now.
Yeah. So maybe.
Can you imagine? Here's something that really frustrates me. Imagine all these dates that they burned on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
With Brock Lesnar coming out after Raw went off the air.
Yeah.
To F5 the fucking Big Show. When they knew they were going to put the fucking title on him at WrestleMania. All those dates that they wasted.
Yeah.
Like, how disgusting is that to think about? It's just that they could have had him on TV for all those dates afterwards instead as the champion. Like, I'm not asking the dude to go work the house show loop or anything.
No.
But for fuck's sake, at least be in a Raw or two a month and defend the damn title on the Raw branded pay-per-views.
At least half of the month. At least two Monday Night Raws a month at least.
Yeah, if he was at every pay-per-view, every Raw pay-per-view, defending the title, I wouldn't have a problem with this.
With as ridiculous as Great Balls of Fire is for a name of a pay-per-view, I wonder if he gets beat by the Fatal 5-Way winner. And then comes back at SummerSlam and maybe someone screws him over to where he doesn't win it back at SummerSlam and then gets it back somehow at Survivor.
The only reason I have an issue with that is if Brock loses at Great Balls of Fire, whoever he loses to is automatically going to be the SummerSlam main event. And I would rather have a fresh matchup at SummerSlam.
Don't you think?
Than a rematch that we just had the month before.
Yeah, and it's
I feel like whoever wins the 5-way has to lose to Lesnar.
Yeah.
So another one of those guys can be in the challenger spot to face Lesnar at SummerSlam hopefully beat him. I'd like to see Lesnar drop the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's just my pipe dream to get the title off of Lesnar as soon as possible. But if I have to wait another month,
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a logistical scenario that would have that happen, and obviously if you beat Lesnar for the title, you're put over. So a guy like Finn Balor can be easily validated by doing that.
Here's a question for you: Fatal 5-way, Extreme Rules, Demon or no?
Yes.
Then he has to. But don't you think he has to win?
He might.
I'm just saying, if they do the Fatal 5-way and he does the Demon, doesn't he have to win?
My heart wants Joe because I want to see Joe.
Oh, dude, oh my god! Like I don't even care if Joe loses.
When you told me
you give me a 5 to 10 minute Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah.
I'm a happy motherfucker, dude.
Yeah,
that's been a dream match of mine for like easily the last decade.
Yeah, when you
I've just always wanted to see that match.
Yeah, when you told me that on Twitter, I'm like, yeah, obviously that's what I want. My prediction right now, I think it's gonna. I could see, like I said, I could see Seth Rollins winning it just because he's a guy that can take a loss to Brock Lesnar. So
they turned Triple H and Stephanie that night and cost them.
Yeah, but I could see with my scenario, I could see Finn Balor winning and taking the title at Great Balls of Fire. The only reason why I say
the only reason for him to win from Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Maybe it's a no contest at Great Balls of Fire. Maybe Strowman gets involved, and then maybe it's Finn against Strowman and Lesnar at SummerSlam, and then
oh my god,
and then just somehow by an act of God, well, maybe the two big guys just cream each other to that, and Balor comes out on top. But anyways, I'm saying a title change at Great Balls of Fire makes sense only for the fact that it's such a ridiculous pay-per-view name, so Vince would probably want a title change just to have people say Great Balls of Fire. Oh my god! The title changed at Great Balls of Fire.
Like I said, I'm completely on board with you that I want the title off of Brock Lesnar as soon as humanly possible. But at the same token, with SummerSlam right after that pay-per-view for Raw, the last thing I want to see is a rematch of whatever we get at Great Balls of Fire, because I feel like SummerSlam is like secondary to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
When we're supposed to be getting super dope cards, and if we're getting a rematch from whatever we got at Great Balls of Fire, that's not super dope. That's just a match we saw last month on a stupid named pay-per-view.
Yeah, and maybe my scenario plays out where the Demon's got to go against two behemoths at SummerSlam. That's a possibility.
I just don't see the reason Braun would have to come and get involved with Balor though, and that's my only problem with that.
Yeah. My heart right now. I mean, that's my heart. I mean, my head right now is saying Strowman wins the title at SummerSlam. I think Vince is that high on him that he'll give him the title that early. And if Meltzer's right to where Brock's going to drop it once, it would make sense to drop it at SummerSlam and then he gets it back at Royal Rumble or something like that, where he can take a couple of months off and not have to have the title with him.
Yeah, I don't want to see him get it back.
For those,
I don't have an issue with him winning the Rumble if they're so insistent on doing Reigns and Brock at Mania, and clearly Vince's mind's made up. So, and barring an injury on one of those men, like if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. But I would much rather Roman be the champion going into that, and and leaving champion, because clearly Lesnar's deal's up, And even if he signs a new deal, it's not going to be I'm going to be at Raw every week deal.
No.
So I don't want him winning the title again.
Plus it tells a different story than what they did at 32 because Reigns wasn't the champion going into WrestleMania 32 either. So your scenario might be more likely just because it is a different scenario from when Reigns won the title in Dallas.
Well, the match makes sense whether it's for the title or not. Like if they wanted to do the match without the title, it's the two dudes that beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They're the only two guys that did it. And one of them did it in this building. You know, Brock beat the Undertaker in this building where he's going to fight Roman Reigns, who beat the Undertaker last year.
Yeah, and when you put it,
so the match makes sense.
When you put it that way,
the match to not have the title.
Yeah, me too. Just like with Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania this year. But at least when you put it that way, it makes a little more sense to have that happen. And for the title is fine because I mean, Undertaker was all about WrestleMania, and there's only 2 blemishes on Undertaker's mark. So, yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting that we're talking about a pay-per-view 11 months away. So hopefully things change between now and then, and maybe we can have a better main event.
The only thing that's going to change it is if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I hate to say that, but that's just normally the way that it works. So,
for those waiting for John Cena to come back, it sounds like we may have a little bit of breaking news from Mike Johnson at PW Insider. He is reporting that he is being advertised for the July 4th SmackDown Live in Phoenix, Arizona. So that might be the return date for Cena. Right now he's working on several different film projects and also getting ready to promote the 2nd season of American Grit, which starts soon as well. Congratulations to Brian Danielson, and Brie Bella on the birth of their daughter, Birdie Jo Danielson. And Brie posted on Instagram, the greatest feeling in the world. Can't even express the love I feel for her. From the moment I saw her, I was in love. Thank you for all your love and support. Birdie Jo is her daddy's mini me. So congratulations to the Danielson family there. And speaking of divas and Brie, Total Divas, the season finale, nice little bump in the ratings. Maybe everybody wanted to see the last of Eva Marie in WWE programming. I still have it on my DVR. I haven't seen it yet. Unless this is like the world's longest work, where I hear she's done, dude. I know. I'm just saying. Wouldn't it be funny? Yeah. It's like the longest work in the world. They play it off until next season of Total Divas.
I'm hearing she's not back next season.
Nope. Word is Charlotte may replace her on next seasons of Total Divas. Impact Wrestling got a nice rebound, up to 309,000 this week, up about 50 grand from the week before. I looked at the results for this week, and I'm like, I don't care. Magnus and El Patron, I probably would have enjoyed. Other than that, I'm like, wow. Global Force Impact, apparently.
Dude, there's consistent rumors going around that by the time Slammiversary is all said and done, that it's not going to be Impact anymore. It's going to be Global Force Wrestling. Like they're gonna get rid of the Impact name altogether, and after Slammiversary, it's going to be Global Force Wrestling going forward. Like they're going to merge all the titles at that pay-per-view, and Global Force is going to take over. That I've heard that a lot over the last several weeks. So,
Raw had a slight rebound to 2.75 million this week. That's up for about 50,000 from the week before. SmackDown took a nosedive, not good for the go-home show of a pay-per-view. They go down to 2.175 million. That is the lowest since November 8th.
I guess Randy Orton isn't putting asses in seats, right?
Neither is Jinder then.
I was just mocking Orton from his little social media temper tantrum over the last week.
We'll talk about that one here in a little bit. I don't know what happened on November 8th to where SmackDown fell below 2 million. The next week was SmackDown 900, where they rebounded greatly and basically rode that wave all the way to now. CM Punk and The Miz on MTV, the challenge that earned almost double of Impact Wrestling. 500.
Did you watch that?
Not yet.
Okay, I haven't seen it either. Like, I didn't DVR it or anything, but I was wondering if anybody could reach out and tell me. Like I hear Miz is like on the show. Like, is he?
He's the host.
Is he in the same venue as Punk? Like, are they talking to each other?
I don't know. Like, he's the host, so I would assume so.
I don't know if he's like the live host or if he's like from a studio or something. I'm really curious if like Miz and CM Punk are in the same place at the same time.
I know who you can ask is Trevor, because he when it was Trevor and I a couple weeks back, we talked about the story breaking, and Trevor said he's a fan of the challenge, so I'm sure he's watched it already. Well,
Trevor, reach out to me when you hear this and let me know. I'm really curious if Miz and Punk are in the same place at the same time.
Do they not get along, or?
No, I'm just curious, because I mean, like, the interaction CM Punk has had with any WWE talent since leaving has been nil.
Yeah, exactly.
So to be in just the same, working environment with somebody again, I'd be really curious to know how that's going.
Yeah, I forgot to DVR it, but I was gonna check to see if it was on Hulu, and I forgot to do that, so I'm gonna maybe check to see if it's on Hulu and catch it. As I definitely was interested in just to see it, just because, Phil. So, but yeah, they got about double the Impact rating. So,
yeah, that's a good rating for them. Wow, that's cool. Like, I don't have a problem. Like I said, I've never seen the show. I'm not a big MTV guy. But if I was flipping through the channels or whatnot and I remembered it was on, like, I'd check it out. See what the Punker's up to.
Yeah, I haven't really been an MTV guy since they got rid of music videos, and that's been
exactly. I mean, that's when I watched MTV.
Yeah. That's a long ass time ago. So, Matt Hardy took to Twitter.
You don't say. Matt Hardy took to Twitter.
Yeah, he took to Twitter for.
And water is wet. And the sky is blue.
A few days ago on Twitter, if Billy had gotten TNA, company and talent would have been great. Instead, naive Ed Nordholm is now funding GFW into an existence at TNA's expense. Didn't we just say that? Yep.
Oh, dude, we've been saying that. We've been saying that for weeks on here.
And look at this! I actually had the article pulled up. Brock Lesnar's return. Obviously, we all know Great Balls of Fire, July 9th is going to be his first match. It is confirmed. June 12th, Lafayette, Louisiana. He'll be there. He'll also be there 2 weeks after on Raw in Los Angeles. You got the Go Home show July 3rd in Phoenix, and then also the night after Great Balls of Fire, July 10th in Houston. So those 4 dates are what Brock Lesnar is scheduled to appear at.
Hey, I'm going to play a little game with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a little game with you. You always hit me with the percentage chance game.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you with a percentage chance game. Okay. Brock Lesnar returned to the WWE the night after WrestleMania 28. We are now approaching WrestleMania 34. Brock Lesnar has still not wrestled a single match on Monday Night Raw since returning to the company. So my question to you, JB, percentage chance, by the time WrestleMania 34 is said and done in New Orleans, what is the percentage chance that Brock Lesnar has wrestled one match on Monday Night Raw?
0. Nah.
0%? You won't even give it a 1% chance.
I give it a 1 because never say never in the WWE. But I mean,
amazing.
Nah, I really don't see it. I don't.
That's glorious.
World of Worlds pay-per-view was this weekend, past weekend at New York City. And
I did not see the show.
I did not either.
I was busy Friday night. Friday night's not a good wrestling night for me.
Yeah, I DJ on Fridays, so
I'm doing stuff on Fridays. It's just, if it was a regular TV special, I'd DVR it. But no, it's a $45 to $50 pay-per-view. I'm not gonna buy a freaking pay-per-view and just set it to record on my DVR while I'm not home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't see the show. I heard it was really good. The results
and oddly enough,
I just didn't see it.
And oddly enough, ROH didn't really job to New Japan.
About damn time.
6-man tag champs.
The New Japan job to that shitty new looking United States title they got.
Yeah.
Who the fuck was drunk building that thing? That title is hideous, dude. It looks like something like a fucking boxer would walk out with. It's just bad.
Yeah,
Normally, I really like the New Japan Championships. Normally, I think they're really cool looking. But that title looks like crap.
War Machine beat Los Ingobernables. Jeez, I can't talk tonight. Los Ingobernables. There we go. De Japan. In Search and Destroy, a tag team I didn't know existed. Chris Sabin and Gresham. Is Alex Shelley hurt?
Yeah, Shelley's hurt again.
So Sabin is teaming up with the recently signed Jonathan Gresham. Again, I haven't...
Shelley's like acting as like their manager right now.
I have, since I've moved, I basically have not had much time. I'm lucky to get WWE in. Of course,
I do. I love the Machine Guns, man, but I'm so depressed that team just has never been able to consistently stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's always one or the other. Well, one guy's hurt, one guy's healthy, the other guy's hurt. It's a lot like the Wolves, with Davey and Eddie. They always freaking seem like when one guy's healthy, the other guy's hurt too.
Yep.
So it just kind of sucks.
Other instances, like I said, Bully Ray and the Briscoes, they beat Chaos. The Bucks beat Ingobernables, but I mean the Bucks are New Japan too, so it's like, and of course the main event triple threat for the title. Daniels retains, so it's good to see that Daniels is getting a fairly lengthy run with the title. He retains, defeating Cody Rhodes and Jay Lethal. The big news of War of the Worlds is, of course, obviously Adam Cole's got to get disbarred from the Bullet Club. But what do you think of the new member, Marty Scurll, Matt?
You want me to be perfectly honest here?
Yeah.
I feel like the Bullet Club has officially jumped the shark.
Yeah, you said
they didn't need to replace Adam Cole with somebody else. They didn't need to do it, and it's exactly what they did. And I like Scurll fine. Marty Scurll's fine. He's a hell of a talent.
I'm a big fan of his.
He's a good heel. But Jesus,
he didn't need Bullet Club. He didn't need it.
No, to me, it's just like the Bullet Club's turning into the late era NWO, where it's just like every motherfucker on the planet that can be in the group.
My thought is Ring of Honor wants a constant presence of Bullet Club there, as opposed to when only New Japan came, and that's the only time you saw the Bullet Club, really. My gut feeling is they want a constant presence on television and in the States, and that's why they're doing this. That's my feeling on why they keep replacing.
Maybe. I don't know. I was just like, come on.
But I was excited to see Scurll in the Bullet Club.
I wasn't. Honestly, I think that's the only thing that I read from the pay-per-view I found myself rolling my eyes. And I mean, honestly, that's my eyes once in Ring of Honor results.
Yeah.
Because, Delirious's booking as of late has had me rolling my eyes quite a bit. So for them to only get one eye roll out of me, that's not bad.
Simon Gotch was backstage at the pay-per-view as well, at Hammerstein Ballroom. And
I heard he was backstage at the TV taping still.
Yep, and so was Chuck Taylor, and Chuck Taylor made his debut at the TV tapings. I am excited. I've been a fan of Chuck Taylor's for at least 10 years, if not more. I would say actually more, because a buddy of mine introduced me to Chuck Taylor. I would say 04, 05. So he's been in Dragon Gate, Evolved, Chikara. I think he was in Chikara when I first kind of saw him. He was the mystery partner for Roppongi Vice because I think Romero, is he on the shelf too now?
Not that I'm aware of, but it doesn't mean that doesn't mean I couldn't be wrong. I don't get a chance to follow the New Japan scene as much as I would like.
But Taylor and Trent Beretta have tagged quite a bit on the independent scene, according to Mike Johnson at PW Insider. So the pairing does make sense. So I'm excited to see old Chuck Taylor in Ring of Honor on my television. I think he briefly was on Impact for a time. But,
cup of coffee.
Yeah. He was also in Global Force. So. Promoting his new film, The Wall, John Cena said he would like to play Vince McMahon in the biopic. I think that would be great.
Shut up.
That would be friggin' hilarious.
It would be terrible. Fucking terrible.
What if he plays the Southpaw Regional Wrestling promoter as Vince McMahon?
He's not. His inspiration for Southpaw Regional Wrestling's guy was not Vince, it was Gordon Soley.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Southpaw Regional Wrestling...
What a nice to play.
John Cena said there's more to come.
Yes!
Which I'm very, very happy about. More Southpaw Regional Wrestling on the way. So
make it a series on the network.
I would love that so much. I still want Lethal Leap Year.
Yeah, I know. I want to see who that...
Lethal Leap Year or Riot.
I want to see who that swamp monster is.
Yeah, I know. I wish someone would... I wish when they were doing that interview with Cena, I wish someone would have asked him who the swamp creature was.
And I can't remember what Gallows' character is off the top of my head, but he should come to the ring in his...
Ferguson?
Yeah, Ferguson.
Tex Ferguson and Chad Too Bad.
He should. His ring entrance should include him coming to the ring in the T-top convertible.
Oh my!
Chad Too Bad. Emma put onto Instagram that she's currently rehabilitating a shoulder injury that she suffered in Liverpool, England. No word on the severity of it. Matt, have you heard any more?
I have not heard anything one way or another. Sometimes I always like to say no news is good news. Yeah. But when it comes to Emma, as much as that girl's been hurt, I just want to hear something. You know what I mean? I want to hear something that it's not as bad as I fear. Because man, who has worse luck in wrestling than Emma has had over the last year and a half? You know, it just really fucking sucks.
And it's official now. Billy Corgan has signed the paperwork to purchase NWA, and Mike Johnson has learned that the deal does include Bruce Tharp, his position in the NWA on the on-demand service, and as well as the wrestling library. It does not mean that Corgan owns it, but he will have some rights and responsibilities with that acquisition in that tape library. So very, very interesting. Interested to see what Corgan's going to do with this, because we need something. Because obviously Global Force Wrestling's coming, and it's already flopped. So,
like I said, I'll say it before with you and Trevor. I'll say it again. Without a TV deal, this is still much ado about nothing. I'd love to see Corgan get a TV deal for this. They get some momentum going behind it. But for me right now, until I hear something about Billy Corgan secures television deal for the NWA with MTV or or VH1 or maybe because his connections in the music industry, maybe he gets a TV deal with with a music channel, and they go in that route, and they do something like that. Then you have my attention. Mm-hmm. You have my interest. What are you going to do now? But until they have some kind of TV deal, I refuse to get my hopes up and get excited about this.
Yeah, but I don't think he's doing this to just have a part in something. I think he wants to build something. I clearly think that.
You can't build shit without a TV deal. You can ask Jeff Jarrett how easy it was to get Global Force off the ground. He had to take someone else's TV deal.
Yeah.
To get Global Force on TV.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's how the TV deal is so important.
Yeah.
To a wrestling organization. So I really hope he's got a plan.
New signee into Ring of Honor, Travis Flip Gordon has signed a deal with the company. Debuted at the April television tapings. He was a regular with Northeast Wrestling and is said to be a good aerial performer. Matt, have you heard of Travis Flip Gordon?
I've heard the name, but I don't recall. I can't place the face. Like, I have heard the name, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what he looks like. I couldn't tell you how he works. I'm blanking on that stuff right now. But I have heard his name, and I hope he does well. Good for him.
The fun part of the internet this week was Rip Rogers and Randy Orton and Bully Ray. Oh boy, this was great. It all started when Rip Rogers, who is the head trainer at OVW and former wrestler for OVW as well.
Jobber to the stars, Rip Rogers.
He posted the following. It wasn't really Instagram. It was like a picture
a notepad post.
Yeah,
since it's increasingly popular in Twitter nowadays. So since you only have 140 characters, people like to put something in a notepad and then tweet it as an image.
Yep.
That's like the big cool thing to do nowadays.
Rip says every indie match now is handshake, drawn out move exchange. This is awesome. Chant, strike exchange, dive. No sell indie strong style, dive. More strikes, no sells, dive. Flippy floppy sequence, dive. Hit everyone with each other's finisher. Then Humpty Dumpty, we all fall down. Fight forever, chant, rinse and repeat until every move is useless and means nothing. Dive. Take an unsafe shot that looks like shit and hurts like hell, then roll up finish. Handshake, hug after the match. Everyone's hands raised. All these guys chant, go home. Type on social media thanking your opponents and company for the match and telling others they should book these guys. Dive.
First and this would actually mean something
if it came
if
from
the person who tweeted it actually drew a dime in his entire professional wrestling career. Rip Rogers, you're a trainer. That's fine. You want to train your talent. That's fine. But you have had absolutely zero impact on the world of professional wrestling in my entire lifetime of watching the product.
I think
you were a jobber. You were an enhancement talent that lost everybody. You've never done a damn thing in the industry worth a damn. And yet you go on Twitter every day acting like you are a pro wrestling god that has all this knowledge in the world. Well, I'm sorry. If you truly had all this knowledge and you were as smart as you thought you were, I think your career would have been a little bit better than it did. So, Rip Rogers, here's my advice. Shut the fuck up.
I think the Young Bucks drew more dimes as Generation Me than Rip Rogers did in his career.
It's just ridiculous. It's just, it's old, like, look. Yeah, granted, there are probably some independent matches that are like that, but this is so like overblown, ridiculous, that he would have the nerve to say something like this, and it's so sad and petty. It's so petty.
Nobody would have known. Nobody would have known he said anything, unless Randy Orton retweeted it, and Randy Orton did retweet it, and all he said was.
I have certain wrestlers that retweet this guy all the time. And you know, I've seen his garbage tweets over the past year. Honestly, after all this crap happened, I just blocked him. I blocked him this week. I'm like, I don't want to see any retweets from this idiot on my timeline ever again. I just blocked the moron. You know, because it's just easier that way. Just, you know, who the fuck are you? And that's all there is to it. Who the fuck are you? You're nobody. Just shut up. Sit down. No one cares.
Bully Ray took to Twitter and said "dive" as he showed a picture of him going off the top rope.
Bully Ray was just having fun.
I think
Bully Ray didn't attack anybody.
No,
he didn't attack anyone. He just thought it was funny. He made a simple joke. I think. I don't know. I think I've heard they buried the hatchets. These two could just be fucking with each other. I heard these guys are friends. I don't know. Bully's words on
Randy Orton
this week surely didn't sound like that hatchet. Well, he seemed to think that the hatchet was buried, but so he doesn't understand, you know, where Orton was coming from with this, you know.
Yeah, Orton responded to the dive picture with LOL. There's a difference between a young, hungry talent diving and an old, out-of-shape vet falling. And Bully took to Twitter saying, "Dear Randy Orton, my tweet had zero to do with you. Looks like you were wrong again. You're still awesome, and falling is greater than House of Horrors."
Well, he ain't wrong.
And then Randy took to Twitter with his picture screenshot of a notepad. And said, it's time, I guess I got to put out an apology, and he put apology in quotes, and said, sorry to the indie marks, indie guys, and old-timers who do dives that took offense, just having a good time over a few drinks in Denmark, closing the Smackdown Live tour while beating Raw and making over $5 million the last 11 shows. Now, I noticed some that doesn't equate to a standing room only crowd of 150 people paying $8 at an armory somewhere. But in the big boy world, that's called putting asses in seats. So enjoy your flips, dives, and 20 super kicks per match. To each their own. I will go dive back into my 13th title run and get ready to flip when my bank statement comes this month. Headlock. I can see Randy's point too.
The response is funny.
It is.
And honest to God, I didn't have an issue with Orton retweeting Rip's tweet. I didn't have an issue with Orton's quote unquote apology. What I had an issue with was his unnecessary shot at Bully Ray for no reason at all. When Bully was in no way taking a shot at Randy Orton. That's what I had an issue with.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I didn't listen to Busted Open Radio. I need to start listening to it though. But
the world of pro wrestling in the social media age of the last week is it's unbelievable how childish and petty that some of these guys are acting and treating their fellow workers. Mm-hmm. It's kind of disgusting. It really is.
A lot of that, and then spurning off of that, I think somebody asked Meltzer, do you think Ring of Honor could ever sell out a large arena of 10,000 people? And Meltzer said something short and concise to the point of "fuck no." And then Cody Rhodes took to Twitter.
I think he said something along the lines of "I wouldn't take that bet."
Yeah,
or something.
It was short. Like that. It was short and sweet, and the answer was no. And then Cody Rhodes says, "Well, put me and the Bucks on the show and give me 3 months to promote." So it sounded like Cody was up for the challenge, but I don't know if Ring of Honor wants to pay the rent for Madison Square Garden. So.
And it doesn't even have to be the Garden.
No.
It could be anywhere in the Northeast where they could sit at a 10,000-seat venue. And honestly, if you do it somewhere in the Northeast in a 10,000-seat venue with 3 months' notice and you stack that card and you promote it properly, I think Ring of Honor could get 10,000 people in for a show. Mm-hmm. The perfect time to do it would be SummerSlam weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You book a 10,000-seat venue in the New York, New Jersey area Friday night of SummerSlam weekend when people are traveling in. I guarantee Ring of Honor can draw 10,000 people. Guaranteed. It's just... who are the other talents? It
do it
earned Ring of Honor to doubt them.
Yeah, and do it the night before Takeover.
It's so frustrating, to see people in the industry in different companies. Clearly, they're not in the same companies. Just going out of their way to put each other down right now.
Yeah, well, like with the Cody thing, I mean, there was no other company, wrestlers or companies involved. That was Meltzer answering a fan, and then Cody answering Meltzer. So.
Yeah, then Cliff Compton decided to stick his fat nose into it.
Oh yeah, he did.
And it's just stuff like that. Like, why is this any of your business? And you're misconstruing Cody's words. Like, Cody didn't say that he could sell out Madison Square Garden by himself. He didn't say that. It's not what he said.
And then he blocked you on Twitter.
No, he didn't block me. He just unfollowed me.
Oh, he unfollowed you. Oh.
He unfollowed me, so I unfollowed back. I don't freaking care. It's whatever. It's fine. I just look. All I told him is that's not what Cody said. Reading is fundamental. You want to unfollow me over that? That's fine. I don't care. I'm not gonna swear at you and be disrespectful. I don't go at talents on social media and be disrespectful, because I don't. I feel it's a really scumbag move to do. If I have a critique on a talent and I'm talking about them on Twitter, I will never at them, because they get enough garbage on a daily basis as it is. They don't need my critiques of what they did.
That's part of the reason why. That's part of the reason why I like to praise them for little things too. Like Brian Kendrick, I told him from 205 Live. I told him, I think it was last week on 205 Live. He did this amazing counter setup into the captain's hook, and I'm like, I told him, I go, that was a damn good move, and he liked it, and so I mean, yeah, I'll take to Twitter to do the exact opposite. I'll point out some little things that I love to see, and things like that.
Sometimes, unfortunately, the wrestlers don't get a little too much negativity and not enough positivity. So,
yeah, I mean, see Paige.
Poor girl.
I think she finally turned her comments back on Instagram, but Olivia Munn hasn't, so, which is even funnier.
Like, what? She turned him off after the breakup with Aaron Rodgers, or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She turned off her comments. The ability to comment.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she turned off the ability to comment on her Instagram. Spoiler alert for Ring of Honor if you don't want to hear it, but it's, if it's been tweeted, we spoil it, so don't worry. But television title has changed hands at the recent TV tapings, and that time traveling son of a gun, Kushida, congrats. He is the new Ring of Honor television champion as he defeated Marty Scurll. Update on Jim Ross. He is going to be calling some matches with none other than Nigel McGuinness this Friday. Is he calling the Friday special too, Matt? He is. I know for sure Jim Ross is calling the UK Championship match at Takeover Saturday in Chicago, but is he calling?
I hear Jim Ross and Nigel are going to be the broadcast team for the weekly WWE UK show going forward. So I would definitely imagine that they will be calling the action on Friday afternoon as well. The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that they're advertising a number one contendership match on Friday between Dunn and I don't even remember who he's facing. It's Dunn and somebody else. And when we already know that Dunn's challenging Tyler Bate for the title the next day at TakeOver Chicago.
That's a little weird.
So it's just ridiculous that they're advertising this match, when we already know who the winner is. Mm-hmm. It's kind of ass backwards booking. But whatever. It should still be a good it should still be a good couple hours of wrestling, however long the special is. And I'll definitely check it out.
Is this kind of a teaser to the weekly special thing?
I would think this is probably like a test run for like the weekly product going forward, if I had to guess.
Plus, it'll be cool to see JR back in NXT again, because he was there calling the main events.
Yeah, very early days. Yeah, he would do all the main events for NXT. Very back in the very early days of the NXT, not the game show edition of NXT, but the actual real, version of NXT.
It has come out that NBC Universal will be using picture-in-picture commercial breaks to show more Smackdown action while advertisements run in a picture-in-picture format.
They said when that's starting?
It didn't start this week, that's obvious.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was curious if the press release said when it was starting.
I wish they did that for Raw, because the amount of commercial breaks they have on Raw is ridiculous.
Well, if it's over on SmackDown, maybe it will start on Raw as well.
Yeah, hopefully. And the article also listed the major advertisers for SmackDown Live on the USA Network and how much they spend. Number one, the WWE Network.
Yeah, it's that weird.
Taco Bell, number two, spending. I don't know how this is. I don't know if this is over the course of a month or a week. The figures, but
yeah, I don't know.
They broke down the figures. The network has spent $750,000 on advertising. Taco Bell, a little over $600,000. Verizon is third. The Real Cost, the anti-smoking campaign, fourth. Nutrisystem, fifth. So some pretty cool stuff there. But yeah, I'm excited. SmackDown's already the better show. So hey, less commercials or less breaks in the action. I'm all up for that. July 7th, the WWE is making its return to Madison Square Garden, and the current card right now features Roman Reigns against Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins against Samoa Joe. This will be Samoa Joe's Madison Square Garden debut, so pretty cool for him. Dean Ambrose against The Miz. Yeah, they're still doing that in July, apparently. Finn Balor's taking on Carl Anderson with Luke Gallows. That's pretty cool. The Hardys will take on Cesaro and Sheamus. This is going to be the first MSG appearance for the Hardys in 8 years. Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James take on Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox. This will be Bayley's Madison Square Garden debut. Neville takes on Austin Aries and Kalisto Apollo Crews. Rhino, Heath Slater, R-Truth take on Elias Sampson, Titus O'Neil, Bo Dallas, Kurt Hawkins, and Goldust. So there is the current lineup there. WWE and Psyonix have announced a Rocket League partnership, and they are going to be the partner for not only just coming pay-per-view Backlash, but also Great Balls of Fire and SummerSlam. Rocket League, a very fun game out on PC, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, basically almost all platforms. Pretty fun game. Weird that, it's been out for like 2 years. It's weird that there's such a big partner of the WWE now. There must be some content coming, I'm guessing, Matt.
I would have to say so.
The following show is a Pod Avenue production.
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, it's a real fun game. Pretty addicting. And Shelly Martinez, you may have known her in the early ECW revival days as Ariel with Kevin Thorne. She has announced her retirement from professional wrestling as well.
Oh, well.
NXT, last week, let's talk about last week real briefly. Aleister Black took on Cesar Bononi.
Bononi!
I was impressed by that guy. If he can put it together, he's got a hell of a physique.
He took a really good kick in the face.
Oh man, I love that black mass kick. Whee!
I'm just waiting for him to hurt somebody with it. That's my only worry. Because that move looks so sick, and it's just going to be somebody. I'm just waiting for it at some point. Somebody's going to be placed wrong. And someone's popping a tooth like Jeff Hardy did. Because that move is just if you take it the wrong way, motherfucker, you're gonna go out.
Are you buying that Vince is mad at Sheamus? I'm not.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, there's scuttlebutt backstage at Vince's Furious with Sheamus, but if that was the case,
to me, if anybody had the right to be furious with Sheamus, it's Jeff Hardy.
I'm sure
and as stiff as Jeff Hardy worked with Sheamus on Raw Monday, I think he's feeling better now. Motherfucker, I've never seen Jeff work stiffer in his life than I saw him work that match with Sheamus on Monday. And that was the stiffest damn swanton bomb I think he's ever done in his career. So
I'm sure Sheamus said you can have at me.
Yeah, I don't buy the fact that Vince is.
No, they wouldn't be pushed otherwise.
I haven't heard that.
Took a pretty cool in-depth look at Ruby Riott, something that NXT's been doing really well, and I think too.
So good. The video packages for the talent down there is so good.
Yeah, I think 205 Live kind of does it too, but not to the extent of NXT. NXT does a lot more.
Well, they did it really well with the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
And I honestly really feel that the 205 Live would very much benefit from that. You know what? I haven't said this before, at least I don't think that I have, but I truly believe, and you might disagree with me, but I think the 205 Live entity would be better off not being live anymore.
Yeah.
It just being a 205 show that is taped at Full Sail for the WWE Network.
Yeah.
I feel like the crowds down there will treat them better. I feel with the shows being taped, there's more time to implement those packages into the show without the crowd sitting there on their hands and being bored. Yeah. And I feel like it would be a major benefit to all of those talents to not have to go out there and bust their ass after SmackDown's over to try to win over a crowd that seemingly already wants to go home.
Yeah,
and that crowd in New Jersey Monday night, I wanted to go in the crowd and just punch every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good crowds that are there, but and obviously UK wanted to see it. They you saw basically still a sold out arena there once 205 Live began. But yeah,
the crowd was decent this week on SmackDown as well. It's just that crowd on Raw Monday really pissed me off.
Yeah,
like I really, really hated that.
Yeah, during the Raw match was shitty. Yeah, and Aries took to Twitter and said as much. Wesley Blake is going to take on Drew McIntyre. Really weird, just kind of he kind of popped in during an interview, and that's going to set up a match here. Another vignette for the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark. I dig it. DIY in the ring talking about NXT Takeover Chicago, how they are the only team now in line to get a shot at the titles. They were interrupted by Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, and they talked some shit to DIY, and that started a match. Fairly decent match between those guys. I think if they can flesh out Moss and Sabatelli, I think we can get something decent out of them. But of course, no surprise, DIY with their super kick running knee strike combo finisher gets the win. After the match, Regal comes out and says that it's going to be a ladder match for the tag team championships. Paul Ellering says that DIY's blood will be on Regal's hands.
That match should be dope.
Yeah. Cassius Ohno is interviewed. Another match that they're kind of quickly setting up for TakeOver, as party man Andrade Cien Almas interrupts that interview as well. Then we get to the main event last week, and holy shit, Matt. Match of the year, I would say maybe a possible nominee for a match of the year in NXT. Roddy Strong and Hideo Itami, man.
No, it was great. It was a great match.
I don't know if I'd go. I don't know if you'd go as far as to nominate it for match of the year in NXT, but it was a thing to behold, and nobody's surprised.
We'll see in a couple. We'll see in a couple months from now how it holds up.
Yeah.
But a week removed from it, I still think it was. I still thought it was a really great match. So
yeah, and no surprise that Itami won because they were. It seemed clear from the get go.
Well, honestly, there was a little bit of. I saw some people surprised, especially after the Who Is Roddy Strong video packages leading into the match.
There
were some people that were surprised, but I liked that. I liked the fact that it was a match where you truly felt either guy could win.
Yeah.
But if Hideo didn't, oh my God, poor Hideo. So
I think just with what they had done with Hideo and Bobby, it was destined to be at Chicago. It was going to be Hideo and Bobby all along, and that is the case. Did you get a chance to watch NXT tonight? I did not, because I watched the Celtics get their ass whooped.
I unfortunately did not see it either.
We get to see Drew McIntyre in action. He took on Cruiserweight Classic competitor Sean Maluda. So Lacey Evans took on Sonya Deville. Lacey Evans, is she the one that kind of dresses kind of retro, pin-up girl kind of thing?
I think so.
Sonya Deville got the win. I don't even know who
Sonya Deville is Daria.
Oh, they renamed her?
Yeah, they renamed her.
Oh, okay, because she was in that Royal Rumble, right?
Yep. Yeah, they renamed her. She was going under that new name last week as well.
Yeah, no wonder I was.
Yep.
No wonder.
Yeah, that's Daria. I'm hearing that. I continue to hear that they're trying to hold Mandy Rose off of NXT until the title's off of Asuka. Because I keep hearing they've got big plans for Mandy, but they don't want her being involved with Asuka title reign right now.
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to see her, full time on the NXT brand until Asuka's on the main roster, or she's out of the title picture.
You think they bring her up as a heel or a face?
That's a great question. I put her on SmackDown. And I probably make her...
No, I'm sorry. I meant Mandy Rose.
Oh, in NXT she'll be a heel.
Yeah.
I think she'll be a heel. She plays a better natural heel than a baby face. But she plays the heel role incredibly well. And I've seen some clips and some matches of her stuff, on the Florida Loops when they do them on the weekends. She's gotten really good. So I look forward to seeing what type of push and stuff they do with her when she's back on the main NXT show.
Yeah, definitely. And main event of NXT this week: Cassius Ohno, Andrade Cien Almas. I bet that was probably a pretty good match. Can I just
say how weird it is that we got Takeover on Saturday, and Drew McIntyre, Cassius Ohno aren't on the show?
Drew is.
No, he's not.
Drew's taking on Wesley Blake.
No, he's not. I'm looking at the card right now.
Oh, is that going to be taped from Chicago instead?
Maybe. I'm looking at the card right now, and it's not listed.
I thought I read. Well, yeah, the Wikipedia didn't have it listed, but I thought I read that it was said on NXT that they would face. Oh, you know what? Yep. It's going to be one of those taped before the show. NXT will be before Wednesday's NXT will be matches prior to Takeover. So that's what that is. Okay.
I look. I know.
So is it still just a 4-card match?
It is a 5-card match. It's Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami. It's
Roddy
the
and
women's triple threat. It's there's a Pain and DIY in the ladder match. Bate and Dunn for the UK Championship, and Roderick Strong versus Sarah Young. Because what they did not show on last week's NXT is after the match with Hideo was over, that Eric Young came out and jumped Roderick Strong afterwards. So clearly, they set up
Young. The Strong and Young match was not on Wikipedia earlier today, so that was the one that they added on there today.
To me, I just want look. I know it's a far way. I know it's a far way from Brooklyn to set a number one contendership match, but I think they're missing the boat on not doing Ohno versus McIntyre live this Saturday to determine the next number one contender for the NXT Championship.
Yeah,
I just feel like that could be an amazing live match, and you're just kind of missing the boat right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
because I feel like there's probably going to be a match we'll end up getting out on a taping. And, most people, that see the results ahead of time will already know who wins beforehand. I would love to see that match, live on a takeover without knowing who was going to go over.
If we didn't have the UK title match on there, it'd probably be on there.
Probably right. Look, if there's one good thing you can say about that right now, it's that NXT's talent pool is becoming so deep that some of their main players aren't even on their takeovers.
Yeah, so, which means we're gonna get a good NXT next week. And sometimes those matches are
Yeah, you would think Ono and McIntyre would both have their own matches on.
Yeah, so they're gonna be on
taping from Chicago. That would just make sense.
Yeah, so they'll both be on NXT next Wednesday with their matches. So, well, I don't know if Ono's gonna be on there, but Drew.
I think it would be dumb not to use him. He's a big name.
Ono's got to have some sort of a squash match on the NXT taping for in Chicago. So I would assume Ono's going to be there, especially in Chicago. It would make complete sense. We'll cover the predictions for that at the end of the show here, but first, Monday Night Raw this week, emanating from Newark, New Jersey. Kurt Angle starts off the show and tells us the Fatal 5-Way news because of Strowman's injury. Once again, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, those 5 guys will meet at Extreme Rules on June 4th. Winner gets to face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire! I thought it was a cool opener, I thought it was really well done. Some good brawling. And oddly enough, they've been doing this since, January? I'm not sick of Joe and Rollins yet. I'm not. I don't know if you are or not, but I'm not sick of Joe and Rollins' feud.
I can take it or leave it, to be honest. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that I love it. So
Rollins, Balor, and Reigns backstage arguing with Kurt Angle, and Kurt says, "Calm the fuck down, kids." Angle has put Seth in a match against Bray Wyatt, noted the first time ever those 2 guys will get into the ring, which is odd that they've never faced each other, but that's the case. And Balor will face Roman Reigns, so 2 big matchups there. Jeff Hardy comes out with his brother Matt. They take on, Jeff Hardy takes on Sheamus in a 8-minute match, or as we just said, Jeff Hardy's Revenge Stiff Tour. A little screw up there when Sheamus went for a bro kick on Matt and missed and had to do it again, but shit happens, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy with the Swanton gets the win after 8 minutes. Part 1 of What Universe Do We Live In? Alicia Fox pinned Sasha Banks on Raw in a Divalicious 3-minute match. And then a part 2 of What World Are We Living In is when Jinder Mahal pins AJ Styles on SmackDown. But yeah, what did you think of the Intercontinental title match between Dean Ambrose and The Miz?
I thought it was fine. I laughed at the finish. I thought that was funny.
Did you laugh at Corey or just at the finish? I love Corey's comment of it was a inner thigh strong style takedown.
Yeah, I don't even remember hearing that, but no, I just laughed. I laughed at the finish. So
because the feud's continuing, is that why you laughed?
No, just the fact that Miz tried to hit Dean in the nuts, so he was like, "Oh, you're trying to hit me in the nuts." So I'm gonna hit you in the nuts. So yeah, I don't know why. To me, I just found it funny. So.
Yeah, I cracked up at Graves' strong style inner thigh grab. That was great. Alexa Bliss is talking down to the fine folks in New Jersey, and I think Alexa's done a hell of a job since getting called up. That's for damn sure.
Failure say what?
What? And Bayley, I like Bayley a little better here. Some of the promos they've written for her have been kind of shitty here, but I think this was decent. Obviously, they get into it, and Alexa finds a kendo stick, and then that's, of course, I mean, they're going to have the rematch for the Raw Women's title at Extreme Rules be a kendo stick match. So, oh, hey, look, Vince Russo, it's on a pole. When Kurt said kendo stick match, I'm like, all right, cool. And then he said on a pole, and I'm like, Vince Russo ruined anything on a pole.
Whatever.
205 live tag match between Neville TJP against Aries and Gallagher. They got 9 minutes there, but the bad guys getting the win after TJP hits a detonation kick on Gallagher. This was more known for the fans chanting stupid shit throughout, and was a beach ball unleashed too.
I heard that it was, but I didn't see it with my own two eyes.
Not me either. But,
so,
fucking crowd. All right, next up is Finn Balor, Roman Reigns. I thought this was a very solid match. Their first one was too, back when Finn made his debut, and they had the number one contenders match for the chance to get the Universal title. I thought it was really well done between these guys. A little bit of me sighed that Roman won clean, considering he's beat all to hell. What did you think, Matt?
I wasn't a fan of him winning clean.
No.
You know, I
thought
mean,
the match was good, but I thought the match was actually really highly entertaining. But
yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the match. Yeah, it's just, you know,
dude's beat to shit right now.
A fully healthy Roman Reigns couldn't beat Finn Balor last year.
No,
you know,
but now he down one.
But now, you know, a fully injured Roman Reigns can beat Finn. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it, man.
Well, he's the face of your company going into New Orleans, so
whatever.
Charlie Caruso interviewed Seth Rollins, and Golden Truth did their entrance, and everything was fine and dandy until Goldie attacks R-Truth. Oh my God, Matt! The humanity. Golden Truth is no more. Oh my God.
Nobody cares.
No. I actually thought this was leading to a push, not a breakup, but kind of a Breezango-like push, you know, but I digress. Enzo and Cass make their entrance, and then Titus O'Neil comes out mocking the entrance of Enzo and Cass. I did think his little Enzo shimmy was kind of funny, though, but that was about all I thought was funny from Titus. Big thing in here, big story here is that Apollo Crews, it looks like he has finally gone full heel. At the end of the match, he clocked Enzo in the back of the head with an enziguri kick when he was not looking, so that is the major part of that story. And then the main event, Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, and if you didn't see this coming, Samoa Joe showing up causing the disqualification, then you, sir, are a blind man.
What?
But I thought it was a solid match with those guys. I thought it was a solid Raw all the way through. I didn't have any complaint. I enjoyed it a hair more than SmackDown this week. I thought SmackDown, for it being a go-home show, was kind of a weak one this week. I don't know what you thought, but I thought Raw was a little better this week. How about you?
I thought Raw was fine. I wasn't like blown away by any means, but I thought it was fine.
I wasn't blown away by anything much this week, but it was better than last week, though, what the UK got, right?
Well, clearly.
That didn't take much. 205 Live, we finally get a return of Grand Metalik. He took on Noam Dar. That was a nice, decent match. I think once they get these four guys out of the top of the picture, I think maybe Noam Dar gets a slight push. Second match of the night was Tony Nese against Mustafa Ali, but before it could get started, Drew Gulak hit Mustafa from behind and then beat up on him some and then set him up for the vicious knee from Tony Nese. Main event, TJ Perkins, Austin Aries. I thought this was a very solid match between the guys. Do you think we should start mixing up the top of the card, though? Are you kind of getting a little worn out with these four guys facing each other for the past 2-3 months?
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely think that that the card could definitely use a fresher upper going forward. They've got enough talent to do it.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before.
It's just up to them wanting to do it.
I said this before on the show, and you've agreed. Almost the entire roster is believable. Could be a believable champion in 205 Live. So, I thought it was funny that Randy Orton posed with Drew Gulak in his no-fly zone sign. That was funny. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Brother. SmackDown Live go-home show for Backlash. And Kevin Owens has hijacked the highlight reel. It's now the highlight reel hosted by Kevin Owens. And kind of your typical promo to set up the show type of deal. AJ Styles comes out to interrupt, and then Jinder Mahal comes out to interrupt him, and so on and so forth. That led up to AJ Styles against Jinder Mahal. They went 15 minutes on SmackDown Live. Again, I thought Jinder looked good here. Of course, he's taking on AJ. I mean, AJ could make a grocery bag full of socks look good in a wrestling match. So, but again, I've said this before. Honest to God, I'm impressed with what Jinder Mahal has done since winning the number one contendership. Once that initial shock wore off and he was there in that place, I am happy with his performance so far. And surprisingly enough, he got the pin on AJ Styles. Little help from the Singh brothers distracting the referee, and then the Cobra Clutch Slam as Jinder Mahal pins AJ Styles after a 15-minute match. And once again, the Fashion Files return to SmackDown Live. And seriously, man, so good, isn't it?
Oh, it's consistently the best stuff on SmackDown right now. It's fucking great.
I loved how Breeze was still so deep undercover that he actually thought he was the janitor. And I like when they made fun of the Usos Day One-ish shirts too. That their Day One will be H. And the freeze frame high five, is that our new edition of the 5-second pose, Matt? The freeze frame high five.
I don't know if they're going to use that again, but I thought it was funny for a one-time thing.
What was this the first time Vince's mugshot was on the?
I don't remember. You asked me that on Twitter last night. I still don't have an answer for you.
Did you ever buy the shirt? I'm just kidding. I know you didn't. That shirt was great, pal. Breezango made short work of Primo and Epco Cologne. And then the Usos showed up and talked about Goosebumps again. Had a contract signing for the 6-women tag match at Backlash. Of course, we all know nobody could play nice in that. And that ended up with Naomi getting physical with James Ellsworth, and then Carmella getting involved, slamming Naomi's head down on the table. That led to a match between Naomi and Carmella that went about 10 minutes. What did you think of the lengthy women's segment on SmackDown this week, Matt?
I thought it was fine. I think it's kind of it's getting kind of old seeing the champion get pinned every week, though. I definitely think her team needs to pick up the win on the pay-per-view Sunday.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when WWE loved to have their champions get pinned all the damn time.
Yeah, well, it seems to be coming back. And I'm kind of saying go away.
Dolph Ziggler says he is here to apologize, and he's going to show us a highlight reel of Nakamura, which, of course, it turned into a big joke. And there was, because he's...
Oh, so it turned into Dolph Ziggler's career.
Sami Zayn interviewed by Dasha, but you know, being the positive guy that he is, he goes, he knows Corbin can't keep me down, and then all of a sudden Corbin shows up from behind and clocks him. So they announced that there'll be a match on the Backlash as well.
The Backlash.
Yep. Main event. Orton and Corbin. I enjoyed this little matchup between these two. I'd love to see a feud with these guys going sometime down the road. But pretty decent main event between Corbin and Orton. Kind of surprised. I figured this would be a gimme that we'd get some gender interference, but no. RKO out of nowhere after 13 minutes for Randy Orton to get the win. Then Jinder Mahal came out. Singh brothers tried to beat up Orton, and then once again, the distraction led to Jinder Mahal standing tall as SmackDown Live went off the air. All right, let's get to our predictions. First off, NXT Takeover Chicago this Saturday on the WWE Network. We have ourselves Roderick Strong, Eric Young. Matt, this is a tough one.
Not for me.
But really, I don't know. I feel like they're going to push Sanity at some point, but
they have pushed Sanity.
Well, into the title picture, if you know what I mean. But
not as long as Rude's holding the title.
Yeah.
So no, to me this isn't a hard pick at all. It's you don't do those Who is Roddy Strong video packages and then have them lose the number one contendership match to then go on to the pay-per-view and lose again. Roddy Strong over Eric Young.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm a little more torn on it, but I am leaning Roddy. United Kingdom Championship match. Tyler Bate against Pete Dunne. Matt, I smell a title change here.
Yeah, I do too. I don't see any other reason to put Pete Dunne back in this situation if he wasn't winning the title. And because it was already these two guys in the finals to begin with, on the finals of the tournament. So to me, I don't see any reason to do this match again unless there's a title change. So I absolutely agree with you that Pete Dunne is leaving Chicago as the United Kingdom champion, which kind of really sucks for Tyler Bate because he's held the title for a few months, but he really hasn't had time to be established because they haven't even had they haven't even had their own TV product yet. Mm-mm. So,
but it's a good way to have the top babyface chase the heel when you get that show running, I guess. You know, it makes sense to kind of have that storyline already built in. Ladder match for the tag team championships, Authors of Pain, DIY. I think the ladder match was put in as a way to give Authors of Pain their first loss without getting pinned.
Yeah, to me, this might be an unpopular opinion. AOP is ready. If you want to put AOP and Paul Ellering up on the main roster.
Oh, Vince is drooling.
This summer.
But they've been good in the ring. They've been good in the ring.
No, I feel like they're ready. If you want to put them up there, have them drop the titles in a ladder match. They don't get pinned. They don't get submitted. You send them up to SmackDown. Granted, the entire tag team division, the only weak thing about NXT right now is their tag division. And it needs to be built up badly, but I could see AOP getting called up after this, and even if they don't, to me, it seems like there's going to be a title change here because it's a match type that benefits both teams, and neither teams they're not going to come out of this looking weak by losing a ladder match. So
I honestly, I don't know. I think Raw needs depth more at this point, but I don't know. And I would think Vince would want those guys on Raw, but it's hard telling. I mean, they'll do good work.
you really want them on there with the Revival? Because I mean, the Revival's going to be back in a month or two. Like,
yeah,
I'm keeping AOP away from the Revival.
Did Alpha ever feud with
No.
AOP?
Well, no, they
No,
did. So it was their last. I don't think they ever got to have a match. I think they just like beat Alpha down a few times
As their send off.
So maybe that'd be a good way to introduce them to the main roster. Give American Alpha something to do. So
Is it me, or does Tommaso Ciampa sound like Paul Ellering? I noticed that on NXT last week. I'm like, he kind of sounds like Paul. Maybe that's his son. You never know.
You're ridiculous.
I see what you're saying about the depth and needed depth in NXT, but at the same time, if you call up AOP, it gives a chance for somebody to step up. Something like a Moss and Sabatelli, the twin brothers. It gives somebody else more time in front of that NXT camera to be able to build a division, and so. And I still think, I mean, hell, I still think they should put Rich Swann and Noah Jose together. I think that'd be a hell of a fun tag team. And you can make a tag team with established stars, too. I don't know who I'd do it with off the top of my head, but, I think it could be done. I mean, they did that with the first Dusty Classic. They had Joe and Finn win it, and they were two established stars that were... never a tag team, so maybe they could put a couple of established stars in and start a little depth that is needed there. Triple threat match. It was a fatal 4-way, but unfortunately, Ember Moon, after taking that whole crazy dive outside of the ring when Asuka threw her out, it's a triple threat match. Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, Asuka. Asuka retains here, I think. I think a lot of it's going to be with Ruby and Nikki tearing each other apart, and Asuka's going to pick the bones. How do you see it, Matt?
Yeah, I think this would have been more. I think the title would have been more in jeopardy with Ember in there. I don't foresee a title change here. But if
anybody gets it, it's going to be Nikki Cross. But I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see a title change here, which could be the opportune time to do it when no one sees it coming. Exactly. But something in me still says Ember Moon's going to be the one to take that title from Asuka. So she should be the one, if not.
And I think she takes it. I think she takes it in Brooklyn. So I'm gonna stay with Asuka. Asuka's going to keep that title. And I think when she loses in Brooklyn to Ember, there ain't going to be no rematch. I think Asuka's just going to be on the main roster that week. Yeah. I think she's coming right up.
You said it on the show before. I mean, I wouldn't argue with what you said on the show before and just have her leave NXT undefeated.
Well, they could, but, there's pros and cons to that. So...
I've really enjoyed the Ruby Riott Nikki Cross feud so far, and I think that is going to be playing a big part in that match. And that's why I think how Asuka's going to have it. But hey, a surprise would be interesting, and then I would lean Nikki Cross for that, just because of how much Sanity has been featured on NXT over the past few months. And oh boy, this one's going to be a classic. NXT Championship: Bobby Roode, Hideo Itami. If Asuka retains, maybe this is the surprise. Nobody expects Rude to get beat by Itami, but I still feel like we're on a collision course for Drew McIntyre, Bobby Roode, because that's a money match right there, Matt. So I'm going with Rude just for that simple fact. But I wouldn't mind a nice surprise because Hideo Itami definitely deserves it. But how do you think the main event shakes out in Chicago?
Here's the thing. It would be really cool to see Hideo Itami win the championship, but at the same token, Triple H and WWE need to make sure that if this dude can stay healthy for 6 months.
Agreed.
So, like, I would go as far as to say he comes close and loses by, Bobby Roode chicanery. And he eventually wins the title at Survivor Series weekend. Like, wherever Survivor Series is, the takeover that weekend, I say, there's a chance Hideo can win it then. That gives them a good 6 months to make sure, all right, this guy's, not going to break down on us again. Yeah. It's a huge risk to take the title off Roode on Saturday, and heaven forbid Tommy suffers another injury. And I don't want to see that. I love Hideo. And like I said, I think he had some of his best. I think he had one of his best, if not his best, NXT match since being with the company with Roderick Strong. Like, I would go as far as to say it was that good.
Even before the last injury, when he came back from his shoulder injury, he was a different Hideo Itami. He had a lot of the little nuances and stuff, and he had put it together, and then unfortunately got put on the shelf again. So yeah, I fully agree there. But plus, I just know that we're on a collision course. McIntyre Roode is a colossal takeover main event. And it's got to happen in Brooklyn. So there's no doubt in my mind that Bobby Roode wins here. But hey, I mean, that splits the title matches 2-2. So two retain, two drop. So who knows? I'm sure we're going to get surprised along the way somewhere there, right, Matt?
Look, the great thing about NXT, to me personally, is that those matches, a lot of the main matches when it comes to a takeover card, can go either way, and you wouldn't be surprised. You're just like, you know what? This could, either way, one of these guys could win, and it's believable. And I go with that. Like, if Hideo wins on Saturday, I'm not going to be shocked. Like, he could win. Like, he could win. Roode could win. And I like that about NXT, like, because I feel like a lot of times in WWE, you get to the pay-per-view and you're just like, yeah, I know who's going to win this ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it's not that, it's not that surprising. But to me, like, NXT, when you get the takeover, you're like, man, I think I know who's going to win, but I'm not 100% sure who's going to win. And that's kind of, to me, what's really exciting about the NXT brand overall.
Yeah, and then 5-10 years down the road, we'll say, this is what is exciting to me about the WWE brand overall.
I hope so.
All right, back on the Lash. 8 matches on the card, 1 pre-show, 7 on the main. Ty Dillinger, Aiden English kick off the pre-show. I think this will go without saying that Ty Dillinger is going to continue his undefeated streak on the main roster, but a good match to warm up the crowd. The Chicago will love Ty Dillinger. They'll go nuts for Ty Dillinger. They're not going to have him lose here, are they?
No, I don't think so. I think Ty hasn't lost. Ty is on the reverse NXT course. Ty has not lost since coming to the main roster, and I don't foresee a loss to Aiden English here on the kickoff show.
Plus, they probably want to have another part of Aiden English's drama breakdown. So
yeah.
Former Wyatt family members Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. I've said Luke Harper's main event talent, and I've actually been impressed with Eric Rowan since he's returned to the company from injury as well. So I think this will be a pretty fun match. There's been a lot of focus on Eric Rowan more than Luke Harper lately, so I'm going to go Rowan
ridiculous.
in this one. Yeah, I'm going Rowan in this one. What are you going with?
Is to me as bad as Rowan's segment on Talking Smack was Tuesday night.
Didn't like that,
it was awful. It was god awful. I'm going with Harper just because that segment was that bad. And you know what? Vince probably loved it, and it probably means Harper's going to lose again. But me personally, I would be putting Harper over Rowan on Sunday. But honest to God, it's a match really no one cares about either way. So it really doesn't matter who wins or who loses. So whatever. I'm gonna say Harper just to go for the opposite of what you said. But to me this doesn't really matter either way. I feel like Harper's really being misused right now. So
they could have easily put this on the pre-show and put Ty in the middle to have Chicago go nuts for Ty somewhere in the middle of the card. But Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, I have no faith in pushing Sami Zayn until they actually do it. So I'm going Baron Corbin. Sad, but that's how the WWE.
Yeah, I can't trust WWE. I can't trust Vince McMahon in a Sami Zayn push. I too have to go with Corbin. I'd like Zayn to win, but I don't believe WWE to do it. I felt Sami had a chance to have a fresh start on the blue brand, and honestly, he's been treated on SmackDown the exact same way he's been treated on Raw. So if you're gonna treat him like crap on every brand, I can't buy into him to win against Corbin. So I'm gonna say Corbin wins.
Gee, Matt, who's gonna win between Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler? Maybe the prediction should be in what row does Ziggler's head land?
Yeah. I want to be the third row. But no, dude, Nakamura just needs to beat the shit out of him. You know,
you want honestly, a good solid match, or do you want a good solid match or a quick 2-minute win?
Honestly, it should be a 2-minute win. It should be. Like, he should come out and squash him. But also at the same token, I feel like he should have a proper wrestling debut. The only problem is nobody buys Dolph Ziggler as a credible threat anymore.
He'll put on a good match with Nakamura.
No, I know that, but you can't make Nakamura look too weak against a guy that can't win a match to save his life. So you have to walk the fine line for this match. You can't make Ziggler look too good, and you can't make Nakamura look too bad. Clearly, they feel like they have something special in him if they decided to bring him up the night after WrestleMania and not have his first match on the SmackDown brand until a pay-per-view. You know, so clearly they have plans for him, which is a good thing. They just need to be careful with how they handle the match on Sunday. But clearly, Nakamura has to win.
Is this as obvious as I think it is? 6-women tag match. Naomi, Charlotte, Becky taking on the welcoming committee of Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina. Is this as obvious as I think it is that the good girls are winning this?
You feel like they have to.
Yeah.
Because it is, like I said, like Carmella's pinned like Naomi like what 2 or 3 weeks in a row or something like that. Like all the trouble that Charlotte has had since being over there and Becky getting beat down. To me, it just seems like the good girls have to win. And if Naomi would have beat Carmella on Tuesday, maybe I'd be a little bit it could go either way type of deal. But after the booking on Tuesday, it says to me that Team NBC has to win this match.
Then ding ding ding. Do we go back to Charlotte Naomi as we head to Money in the Bank?
I mean, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos taking on Breezango. Matt, what do you think there?
What I want and what I think are two totally different things.
I want a theory for
title
you.
Change.
Yeah.
I think the Usos retain. Because the New Day, I'm hearing the New Day are back next week.
Already next week.
So, like, I hear Kofi's cleared, and they're back. They're back as soon as next week. So
they jump right in.
I think they jump right in with the Usos. It's the fucking New Day, dude. You know, the most decorated tag team in WWE in the last 2 decades. So
part of me was thinking one of these 2 surprise pushes is gonna win at Backlash. But then you say that with the New Day, and I'm like, the Usos are winning.
Yeah, I want Breezango to win. I think the Usos retain. So that's the way I'm going with that one.
I got this weird feeling that one of those 2 pushes, Jinder or Breezango, is going to win.
Jinder's not winning the title.
Let's jump right into that one. WWE Championship, Jinder, Randy Orton. No chance in hell, huh?
No.
I'd love to see him shake some shit up, but I think Breezango beating the Usos would be more likely than.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely the more likely of the two.
Yeah. I think they are on a collision course of Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, because I am going to say AJ Styles defeats Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Matt, what are your predictions on that one?
That's exactly what I want to happen. It's what should happen.
I might be going more heart than logic for WWE at this point on this one, because they've pushed this face of America thing.
The one thing I question is, are they going to be selling Styles' knee injury into Sunday or not?
Yeah,
and I don't know. Like, was that just a one-time thing for the match, or is he going to be selling a quote-unquote knee injury going into Backlash? Because they haven't really clarified that one way or another. If he's selling a knee injury, he's going to lose. However, you just made a fucking job to Jinder Mahal, so put up the fucking United States title on the man. So,
yeah, what world are we living in where Alicia Fox pins Sasha Banks and Jinder Mahal pins AJ Styles?
A shitty world. That's what.
That's gonna do it for this Takeover Chicago, the Backlash preview show of Lost in the Midcard. Once again, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you come and search for Lost in the Midcard, and if you've already done so and subscribed, tell your friends and tell your friends to tell their friends. We're also on YouTube if you like to subscribe to those things, and the links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Also, we do some tweeting at LITMC Podcast. Matt's on that Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into the sunset and look forward to hopefully a good weekend of professional wrestling, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
No, the Backlash has no chance of topping Takeover. So don't even bother trying. The streak of NXT greater than WWE pay-per-view weekends will continue this weekend.
Even when we thought that streak was going to be broken, it was blown way out.
Yep,
Takeover.
Exactly.
Well, I think that might have been the match of the year, DIY Revival. 2 out of 3. I think that might have been the card where we thought, oh, maybe Takeover doesn't outshine for once, but yeah. We'll see. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in. We will be at you on Monday with our Takeover and Backlash reaction. Have a good one. Enjoy the shows this weekend.